in the rookie race is Sims. So let's get the rookie race underway. Lap 1, and here is Heavenon on the pole, John 5 on the front row, and the lights are out. Heavenon gets a good run away from the line. It looks like they're all pretty much getting through in grid order, but there's MRTN in the background diving for that position. You can see there's Sam going way off the road in the back, but Heavenon makes a mistake, and John 5 is all over the back of him, going down the hill, and John makes the move stick in turn 7, then defending into turn 8, and there's Augusto and Heavenon battling for the second position now. And Heavenon going slightly wide, and he's going to be prone to Augusto going past him, and indeed Augusto is up to second place. Now as we stick on board with John 5, he's going to make a mistake in a second right here, too early on the throttle, and now it all kicks off. 3 wide for a minute, Augusto, Heavenon crashing through the sand into turn 17, and Heavenon all the way down to 4th position for the pole. Now there was quite a lot of people going very wide into the snow early on lap 1. There's MJ missing the exit of the corner, and there's Respect also going through the snow. You can see mistakes really punish you here at the modern circuit. There's Respect again going through the snow later in the lap, and Sam again going through the snow there. So as we move forward to lap 2 now, and here's Heavenon challenging Mouse through turn 2 and down into turn 3. Mouse and Exil make contact, and also MRTN and Augusto are making contact. Down the hill to turn 7, MRTN diving for the inside there, but he just loses the position to Augusto instead. And Exil going past Mouse rather roughly, and then Exil making a mistake and almost blocking Heavenon there. John 5 meanwhile at front, still leading the race. For a crazy start to the rookie race at Moorland. Now Heavenon all over the back of Exil, and he's going to try and make a move into the final chicane. Dives up the inside using the dirt to slow him down, perhaps a little bit unorthodox. But off the final corner, Exil comes back. You can see MRTN running wide there in the background as we move on to lap number 3. Exil running very wide at the exit of turn 1, and then again at the exit of turn 2, crashing with Heavenon, and Exil right down the field. Look at Arjun flying past 3 cars there. Incredible reaction times from Arjun there, gets a little bit of a boot from Exil, who is still recovering, and Exil loses 2 more positions, so a terrible start to the 3rd lap from Exil as the battling continues. Lots of contact. 2 abreast down the long straight to turn 12, and MRTN going up the inside of Arjun into that corner. The double apex with turn 13, battling up to turn 14, and MRTN going sliding, Arjun going to the back of him and losing the position, and now battling with Mouse into turn 17, Arjun sliding. Moving onward to lap number 4 now. Here's Heavenon going after Augusto. Augusto making a little mistake there in turn 3, and Heavenon going to look into this tight chicane, but not quite managing to make it past. Here's Arjun going to have a look at Exil into the chicane, but makes a mistake and hits into a rock. That's unfortunate for him, Arjun losing time. And Respect is out of fuel, as you can see he parks his car just on the exit of the pits. And now as we move on to lap 5, here's MRTN defending against Exil, and Mouse going around the outside of Exil on the exit of that corner. Here's Deluxe battling Heavenon, and Heavenon running very wide on the exit of turn 14. Deluxe dives up the inside to turn 15, but Heavenon gets it back in turn 16 and keeps the position. Some great battling going on early in the rookie race. And here is more of that battling. Exil going to try and go around the outside of Mouse into turn 14 and makes it stick, getting the next corner, and a great move from Exil there on Mouse. Here's Respect trying to come back across the track and causing problems. He has no fuel in his car, remember, so he's going to be very slow right in front of traffic, and Exil hits straight into him and loses 2 positions. Not particularly clever to try and cross the track from Respect when his car is out of fuel. Meanwhile, lap 6, Arjun battling with Mouse. Off turn 3, Arjun gets a great run up the inside of Mouse into the chicane at turns 4 and 5 and makes that move stick. Just a little later in the lap here on the run up to turn 14, Arjun now battling MRTN as Exil going wide in the background, and Arjun getting a great run off turn 16, going for the outside on turn 17, but MRTN pulls to the pits, the first to pit, as we move now on to lap 7. Here's Exil Battling with Mouse closely through this sweeping complex at turns 8, 9 and 10, and Exil makes his way past. Here meanwhile is Deluxe battling with Heavenin in the final corners. Deluxe makes his way up the inside into turn 17, contact made on the exit, but it manages to keep it down the main straight. And here is Arjun coming off the final corner and going very wide onto the snow. That costs him a position here to Exil. He tries to defend to the inside, but it's just not enough. Exil gets around the outside cleanly. Moving on now lap 8. And here's Heavenin battling with Deluxe now. Gets a great run off turn 3, straight up the inside into the chicane, and makes the move stick easily. Good pass from Heavenin. But that wasn't it for this battle. Into the sweeping top corners, and Heavenin perhaps goes very wide, and Deluxe gets past him and into the 4th position. Meanwhile, here's a great freeway battle for the 5th position. Arjun, Exil and Mouse. And you can see there's Arjun up the inside into turn 6, but immediately swaps back with Exil. Through these sweeping corners, Mouse tries to look to the outside of Arjun now. But nobody quite making a move stick. Onto lap 9 now, and here's Heavenin and Deluxe continuing to battle now. Heavy braking for the chicane, and Deluxe goes wide. Heavenin makes up the position. And here is the battle continuing between Arjun and Exil. Exil ran very wide there at turn number 4, and Arjun makes his way past. Meanwhile, our leader, John 5, is in the pits. A very crucial pit stop for him. Pit stop strategy going to play out in this race, and he comes out in front of Arjun with quite a good gap of clean air, which is very crucial. Meanwhile, Exil and Mouse continuing to battle for positions inside the top 5. Mouse gets through there off turn 4 in the run down to the turn 5 and 6 chicane. Deluxe now in the pits, and so is Augusto. And here is Mouse and Exil as they both pull into the pits at the same time. Pit lane very busy. A bit of contact as they entered the pit lane actually. Meanwhile, further back up the pit lane, Augusto is exiting, and Deluxe fueling quite a lot more than Augusto. Mouse in the pits, also going to go on a high fuel strategy, perhaps even only one stop for Mouse, as Exil exits way before Mouse, and he's free of that battle. Exil coming out in front of MRTN. An interesting pit entry means that actually you're more likely to get out in front of the cars you can see coming down the home straight. Heavenin now in the pits from what was the lead, but John 5 takes it on the main straight. A fast pit stop for Heavenin. Augusto goes through into second, but Heavenin claims third after his pit stop. Now forward onto lap number 18. John 5 in the pits for his second pit stop. The second stint pretty uneventful. And now Augusto comes through on the outside and takes the lead. So Augusto now leads as of lap 18, and there's third place Heavenin just in the background. Lap 20 now, and here's Exil going past Arjun for the 4th position. Down the inside into turn 1, simple pass, covers his exit on turn 2, through turn 3. He goes wide in turn 4, and Arjun gets back past around the outside into the turn 5 and 6 chicane. Down the hill to turn 7, they continue their battle. Exil is side by side, but has to give it up. Meanwhile, in the very same corners, here's Augusto and John battling for the lead. Very important. Contact made, and John 5, a very fair racer, makes sure he does not pass using contact. Augusto defending to the inside, now up the hill to turn 14. And John 5 gets up the inside, keeps it through turn 15, 16 and 17. Lap 21, one lap later, and here's Augusto about to go wide on the exit of turn 1. See, too early on the throttle, right off the track. Heavenin plows into the back of him, and Augusto quite rightly lets him pass, so Heavenin is now up to second place. And John 5 goes wide on the exit of the chicane. And is Heavenin going to challenge for the lead? Not quite, but it's all getting really tight up front in the rookie race. And now Heavenin goes past, with perhaps a bit of contact, but he gives it back, fairly, as he should. Great fair play racing from these guys. Obviously it might be a little better if they didn't beef each other in the first place, but here's more battling. Augusto gets past Heavenin for the 2nd position. Now onto lap 25, they're both in the pits. Heavenin though gets out crucially just in front of Augusto. Heavenin's crew does a better job in the pits and gets out in front. Deluxe though is out in the 2nd position now. As we move on to lap 26, he now comes in the pits, giving up that 2nd position. Heavenin and Augusto go by. Let's see who else goes by on the main straight. Exil goes by. and Deluxe now exiting to a clear track, which is crucial if he's going to put in the fast laps as we move on to lap 27. And here's Arjun trying to get past Mouse. Mouse, of course, on a one-stop on very old tyres, and look at that, Arjun easily pulls to the inside in turn 1 and makes a very clean move for that position. Lap 28 now, we're getting close to the end of the race, and John 5 is in for his third and final pit stop. MRTN also in the pits, just exiting there. And let's see where his rivals come out. But John 5 having a little problem exiting the pits. He exited perhaps a bit too early, that cost him some time, but he still gets out safely in front of Heavenin and Augusto after this great freeway battle for the win in the rookie race. And Heavenin running wide there, and Augusto just managing to take the place back without hitting into the lap car of MJ. And Heavenin now trying to track Augusto, both hitting the dirt. Augusto braking a bit early, a bit of contact, and Augusto way off the track. Was that an unfair move from Heavenin? Quite possibly. Meanwhile, here is Deluxe and Arjun battling once more over the 4th position. Deluxe runs into the sand and blocks Arjun there, goes wide on the exit of turn 17, and they're both just about going to manage to get past MJ, as Arjun, continuing his move up the field, is now up to 4th place. Great comeback drive from Arjun after a pretty poor qualifying and start. These two though continue to battle down to turn 7. Deluxe all over the back of Arjun. Looking at his gearbox, they're going to go side by side again, outbraking each other, and Deluxe with not the fairest move I've ever seen. We've seen quite a few of those moves in this rookie race, people hitting the rear wing of the other car to move them out of the way, which isn't legal, perhaps something that really needs to be cleared up in the rules. Obviously they're a bit more lax since it is the rookie race. But meanwhile, these two continue their battle right onto the final lap, as Deluxe runs wide off turn 17, and now moving on to lap 35, and they're still battling, just 2 laps to go, and Deluxe going right after Arjun but running wide in turn 4, and now a bit later in the lap he's going after him again on the outside in turn 16, but makes a mistake in turn 17, and that looks like the battle is over him then. Now on to lap 36, and off the final corners, John 5 wins a fantastic rookie race, a great freeway battle with Heavenin and Augusto, completing the 36 laps in the fastest time, a full 6.7 seconds over their closest rival Heavenin after a great close battle all race. Augusto comes through in 3rd position, and Arjun is in 4th position, 20 seconds down for the fun team. Deluxe finishes in a great 5th position, Exil finishes in 6th for the Plus team after a great battle with Mouse all race, who finished 7th, MRTN the first car a lap down, Simza696 finishes 9th, 2 laps down, Sam is also 2 laps down, MJ finishes 11th, 4 laps down, and 11 laps down after his fuel problems is Respect.